Hey, how's it going? Ben here. Great to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a trip I recently went on to the Khao Sok National Park. Khao Sok is a national park in southern Thailand in the Surat Thani province, and it's a legit ancient rainforest. There's a ton of animals, there's a ton of activities to do. You can go hiking and all that kind of stuff. There's a massive lake that used to be a river. They built a dam and blocked it to get some hydroelectricity. And now it's a big lake that's full of water all year round, and it's great. You can go and take boats out on the lake. You can stay in hotels floating on the lake, which is what we did, and I recommend you do if you go. It's really cool. You can go canoeing on the lake and many other things. So I wanted to make a quick video talking about Khao Sok, talking about what I did on my recent trip and what you can do also. If you're in South Thailand and you want to check out some of the natural beauty of Thailand, and you want to see some legit rainforest, some jungle, there's even elephants there, then I definitely recommend you should head over to Khao Sok National Park. Alright, so I thought I could show you some of the pictures I've taken while I was in Khao Sok, and we could go through some of the activities and some of the things that I did. So let's jump over to the computer and I'll take you around Khao Sok National Park. Alright, so yeah, I thought we'd start with a bit of an opening page and a picture of some of the limestone cliffs you'll see protruding from the lake. So yeah, this is Khao Sok National Park, and this is on the big main lake, this image here. So yeah, pretty spectacular views, worth going just for the views if you can. Here's a map of Khao Sok. So as you can see, you have the Ratchaprapa, I think I'm saying that probably wrong, but that's a big lake in the middle. You can see the Khao Sok National Park down here. So yeah, you have a massive flooded lake here. Up until like the 1980s, this was actually a river and a very natural rainforest before that. There's a crazy story about the communist insurgents living and protecting this area just before the 1980s, which is a pretty fascinating thing I didn't know about until I was doing research for this video. And they actually are to thank for loggers and other big businesses not getting into the area, as they pretty much controlled the rural area pretty well. But that all ended in the 1980s, and after that they built a large dam at the bottom of the river, and that's actually to provide hydroelectricity for the region. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can go to the dam as well. I have some pictures of the dam later on, but what that means is now the river is kind of flooded and it's a big lake, so it remains this large body of water that you can go to and travel and do lots of activities on throughout the year. So yeah, you have the large lake area in blue, as you can see. The national park also is down here, so the large green area just to the south of the river, or the lake it is now. Yeah, and you can do lots of hiking and sightseeing there as well. I predominantly stayed on the lake in my most recent trip to Khao Sok. So that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Next, let's have a look at some of the frequently asked questions about Khao Sok. So I thought I'd give you some of my own fact for the park. So if we go to the next page, first up, entrance fee is 300 baht for foreign visitors. So if you do want to visit a national park in Thailand, everyone has to pay a fee. Foreigners typically have to pay a bit more of a fee. And the fee for an adult foreigner in Khao Sok is 300 baht just to get inside the park. So there is an entrance fee if you go to the national parks. Khao Sok, the entrance fee is 300 baht. The rainforest here is one of the oldest in the world. So this is one of the more interesting pieces of fact I found about the park. Is the rainforest is pretty ancient. So it's much older than some of the other rainforests around the world, partly because the Ice Age never came to Thailand. So some of the other rainforests were killed off in the Ice Age. The Ice Age never made it to southern Thailand. So the rainforest has been like continuously developing for a long time. I don't think anyone actually knows how old this patch of rainforest really is, but it is one of the oldest patches of rainforest and protected rainforest in the world. So that is pretty interesting and probably worth a visit because of that alone. So, like I mentioned, the park was held by communist insurgents in the 1980s. So one of the more interesting things I found historically about the park was that communist guerrilla soldiers actually held the area for quite a long period. I think it was around 10 years, and they did that by living in the caves, living in the jungle, and they really controlled and dominated the area. They were fighting against the local army, and they were also fighting against people who wanted to do work here. So they kept the loggers at bay. They didn't allow too many people to come in. They actually ended up doing some pretty good preservation work, because if it wasn't for the communist stronghold on the park, and maybe loggers and factories would have been built and developed in the area, and maybe we would have lost a lot of the natural beauty of the area. So yeah, they kept them away. Obviously the park is home to a ton of natural resources, as well as a massive river that could have been used to generate factories and do all sorts. So there could have been a lot of work done here that wasn't, and maybe we have the communist insurgents to thank for that. So yeah, very interesting part of the history of the national park here is the communist thing, I found anyway. And my final piece of fact is the park is home to around 200 wild elephants. So this is probably a big draw, especially for a lot of foreign visitors who come to Asia. Obviously we don't have elephants, definitely not wild elephants, in any of the European or Western countries. So if you want to see wild elephants, then a national park is one of the best ways to go if you're here in Thailand. Lots of them, well, not lots of them, but a few of the national parks do have wild elephants roaming the park. Khao Sok is one, and I really didn't expect that, but yeah, you can take a boat trip even to parts of the park where there are wild elephants, and if you're lucky you'll be able to see some wild elephants on your trip to Khao Sok. I know it would be a massive draw for a lot of people, so I thought I'd include it in this little fact sheet about the national park Khao Sok. Alright, so yeah, I have some pictures from the dam I spoke about. So this is the Racha Prada Dam. I'm probably saying that wrong, I apologize if I am. So yeah, this is the dam that turned the river into a lake and is worth a selfie stop. So you'll see it on the maps from the top of the dam. You get a great view of the lake, and there's a road that runs across the dam, so you can drive up and down it if you'd like to. Probably worth a stop. There's a picture of yours truly stood on top of the dam, just to show you what that looks like. So that's a site worth stopping to see if you are driving to the national park. You can definitely do that. And yeah, if you want to get a boat and see some of the national park that's set on the lake, then you can get a boat on the Chowlan Lake from the Racha Prada Marina. Okay, so that'll be listed on Google Maps as well. You can go there, and that's where you get the boats to all the different lake locations that are on the lake, or any of the sites you can see in the lake. Then you can go to the marina and book a boat. So you have the long tail boats there. You can go there, buy tickets. You can't book any of the tickets for the boat online in advance. You have to just go there and then buy a ticket when you want and where you want to go. Also worth knowing, if you're staying on a hotel on the lake, so there's lots of these floating sort of homestays, hotels, whatever you want to call them. They're like rooms built on floating lagoons. Some of them will include a package that includes the price of your boat to the hotel. So definitely check with your hotel if that's the case. It's very common if you're going to book, you can kind of book an experience package. So that's very common. That'll include your boat ride, that'll include some trips out. So maybe you won't have to pay for the boat as well as your hotel. Maybe you can book like a package. It might be worth your time and make things a little bit more simple to do. So yeah, if you're going to travel to the park, then what you want to do is head to the marina, as the marina is where you will get the boat to the different places on the lake. That's if you're going to explore the lake in the national park. And that's what I did, and this is a picture from one of the long-tail boats on the way to my hotel where I was staying. So this is a picture of the hotel where I was staying. So you can see the rooms on the left and some on the right in the distance. So yeah, these little rooms, they were quite expensive. It was around 2,500 baht per person per night to stay in these rooms. That did include 3 meals per day. There was like a restaurant there. The food was okay, it was edible. And also that did include the boat trip, so I could use any of the long-tail boats to go on a little trip nearby, or to and from the marina where I said you get the boat from. So that was included in the price. Yeah, if you are going there, then definitely worth taking some snacks with you. Do a 7-Eleven stop on your way, because food and snacks is a little bit hard to come by, because you are in like proper wilderness. When at this point you're in a little cabin on the lake. So yeah, definitely bring some snacks with you. That is something I would definitely recommend you do. So yeah, as you can see, the long-tail boats are on the right here. Those are the boats that could take you to different tourist attractions and back to the marina. And yeah, these little rooms, you can see them best on the left. We have like a little balcony down into the water with some steps into the lake, which is really cool. You could use the canoes whenever you wanted to. So there were more canoes that you could go and take. You had to pay like a deposit for the paddles, but that was it. It was all included. You got that back, obviously, and you got your own life jacket, so you could just jump in and float around in the lake, which was really nice to do. The rooms were kind of basic, as you would probably expect, just wooden built rooms, and there was aircon that would only be turned on at night, so the electricity was kind of rationed. They didn't have that much of it. You could only turn it on at night. However, you could pay an extra fee to have the electricity turned on in the daytime as well, so you could make that arrangement with the staff at the hotel. In the room, it was quite a simple room with a bathroom, pretty basic stuff, but yeah, really amazing location. You can see the landscape surrounding the place, and you were right on the lake with your own access point, your own private access point from your room, which was really cool. I definitely recommend looking into some of the floating hotel options on the lake in Khao Sok National Park, as it was definitely one of the highlights for us. So this is the view from the room actually. So there was a door that led out onto this little balcony and straight into the water, the lake, so you could jump in and swim around. Just a little bit of a panoramic view, so you can see the houses just off to there, just the rooms just off to the left, and the canoe, the mountains in the distance, the small island on the right there, some more of the rooms. Those boats, those long-tailed boats, were what helped you get around the lake and took you from the pier to the hotel, and that's the main reception of the hotel room, right in the middle there, just below the mountains. Alright, so I thought I would show you some of the famous sites of the Khao Sok National Park out on the lake. So one of the most famous scenes, one of the most popular destinations to go and check out is this picture on the left shows this picture of these three kind of limestone cliffs protruding out of the water. So that's a really popular site. And definitely take a boat out to go and see them if you can, if you get the opportunity and you're on the lake. Definitely worth a visit. They look really, really cool. Lots of the area does. You get these amazing, I think they're limestone cliffs rocketing out of the water. It looks like Avatar if you've seen that movie. It's really cool. Definitely worth going seeing some of the natural cliff formations. They're proper stunning. And yeah, even just this picture on the right, this is taken from my room in the morning. For whatever reason, a large amount of big fish had congregated in the water just below my room. You can see that at the bottom, and contrast that with the mountains and the clouds just beginning to sift in the morning. Yeah, really interesting scenes. I think this is one of the most spectacular sort of natural views I've ever witnessed. So yeah, I thought I'd share some of those pictures with you. And on the next page, I have a few more pictures. So yeah, canoe swim or take a motorized long-tail boat to experience the park and animals. So you can see on the picture on the left at the sunset. And yeah, one of the canoes, you can see some of the fish in that middle picture. Once again, same picture. This time I've thrown some food into the fish. So you got all that movement at the bottom. And the last one is just a picture from the long-tail boat. But yeah, very spectacular natural views at Khao Sok. Definitely worth a visit, especially if you're in South Thailand and you love and you want to see some of the more natural terrain. I definitely recommend traveling to Khao Sok National Park. It's very much worth a trip. Alright, so that just about does it for this video. I just wanted to share some of the pictures, some of the videos with you of my trip, my most recent trip to Khao Sok. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, if you found this video useful, then please consider hitting the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Subscribe if you're living in Thailand or you plan to go traveling in Thailand, as I talk about it a lot on this channel. It's kind of what it's about, so it'd be great to stay in contact with you that way. And as always, I appreciate you watching this video, especially if you made it to the end, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.